What's up guys, welcome back. In the last video we worked on displaying the items from the data table inside of our widget switcher. I need to buy the license. I'm working. Okay, get a license. Okay, so in this video we're going to create a modal and then work on updating the price and stuff like that. Let's trying to get this done at least. So yeah, the last video we had this done. Now we know which item is which when we click on them. So let's create the modal that we can show users so that way they can interact or edit these things. I'm going to try to do this in a different way, so hopefully it worked the way I'm about to do it. I'm not following my project. I'm just going to try to do it a new way, and hopefully it works. So let's see. Let's create a new folder called edit widgets. This is going to keep all the widget that we need to edit. Owner, edit, product. Okay. Again, I'm not going to waste a lot of time with let me just copy this with the design only for this because it's complicated. So that's why I'm just trying to just copy them and paste them over this way. So let me explain what I did so that way you can do the same thing. Okay, so pretty much I have a border, then I added a background blur, then I have a canvas that holds everything inside of this. And then here I have a container, and then the only part that you need to worry about it would be this right here where it says block. So this is a horizontal box, right? And then I have a text, and I also added this is a text, editable text box. So just search for this editable text, and then you put it next to your ID. Okay, so this is a horizontal box, right? So that's why they are next to each other. And then I just wrap the editable text with a border to give it the background, and then I give it a name. So this one, I call this one let me call this one product ID. Product ID. And then I make sure it's only, let's see, where is it at? Where is it? It's read only, so that way we don't change this, we don't modify this. The only one we're gonna modify would be the new price and then the sales, right? So we can just put this one read only as well, and the one for the market price read only, because these not going to change. Matter of fact, you can even make these text. You don't have to make them input boxes. You can just make them text. The only thing that we need to be text is these two. And let's just rename this to, discount. And then let's put discount right here. And then I added these buttons, right? Publish, update, unpublish, and then close. This is to close the modal. Okay, so this is what this is. Or if you want to design it your own way, do it that way. But what we need to do, let's go inside BPC business. We need to create the modal. So for the widget, let's go here. Let's say server create edit modal. Okay, let me grab this, make sure it's run on server, and then the other one would be client create edit modal, and this one would be run on client. Compile it and save. Let's call the client create modal go here, and let's work on it down this way. So what we need to create widget, and then we need to create the owner edit product widget. And while we're here, let's go in the back, let's add index, make sure it's an integer, expose on spawn, and we also need the item info, and it's the item info, and change it. All right, so if we go back to, let's close this here, we can refresh so that we can have them. What we're going to do, promote this to a variable, say owner edit product, like so. Make sure it's replicated, and then we're gonna check to see if it's valid. We've done this a million times, so you should already know what's going on. Add to viewport. Okay, and then grab this, and I think I created already. Yeah, show mouse. That's the global function, or we created show mouse, and then we can just let's go to here, and then let's pass this to see if we want to show the mouse cursor or not. Yeah, so right now we're showing the mouse cursor, and then this one set input mode to game and UI. Yes, that's what we want. Okay, so now let's create a boolean is edit modal open. Make sure it's replicated, and then we're gonna set it to true at the end of this, and then up here we're going to check to see if it's open. If it's open, we're gonna close it. Yada yada yada, you know what's going on. And if it's not, we create it like so. We can say remove from parent, and we can say hide mouse, like so, and then we set that to false. Okay, so let's pass these, the index and the item info. Like I said, this is I'm doing this as I go right now. I don't know if it's gonna work, but let's try it, because I try to do things differently, so that way to see which one is the best way to do it. So okay, let's add a comment, edit product modal, and now inside of the owner, no, we need the other one. We need the button, the database button. No, is that it? Let's see. We need this. Yeah, the database icon. No, this is the buy-in. Okay, so we're not there yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. So we need to deal with the buy-in item first. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, we need to deal with the buy-in. So what happened? Yeah. So let's duplicate this and call it owner inventory icon. Okay, and this is gonna be the one that has the edit. So So we can delete this button. Yeah, let's delete this. And then let's rename this to edit product. And up here, we can wrap this with a horizontal box like so. And then this one will be item ID. And this one will be new price. Let's make the item ID fill. And let's give it a padding to the left about 15. And let's give it a new color so that way we can differentiate which one is which. Okay. And let's say for now, let's just put a hash. Yeah, let's just put a hash like that. Okay. So this is the product ID. This is gonna be the product new price. Okay, like so. So now what we need to do, let's go back to our let's put it inside a BPC business. We need to create a new variable. Let's call it inventory, and of type item info. Make sure it's replicated and make sure it is an array. So when we click on the, let me see which one is it, data icon, this right here, when we click on this button where we're doing the printing of the icon index. Let me look at my note real quick. Publish, update, that's buying business. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, let me find the function real quick. Oh, I didn't even, okay. So when we click on this button right here, right? So what we need to do, let me show you which button I'm talking about, I'm referring to. Hold on. Let me undo this. For those of you who may have trouble figuring out which button I'm referring to, and I didn't even buy a license again. So if I go here, I'm talking about this button. What happened? Yeah, I'm talking about this button right here. So when we click this button, that's when we need to buy the item and we pretty much want to add it to our inventory, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to say get business, right? This is getting the current business from the function. And then we need a character and we need the inventory variable we just created. So get inventory. Oh, so we created it inside of, maybe, yeah, we need to create inside of the business, I guess. Inventory. So create it inside of the business, BP business, and say item info. Turn it into a variable. Make sure it is an array. Make sure it's replicated into an array. And we can go to BPC and let's delete that so that way we don't get confused. Okay, so inside of the business, let's close this for now. Let's close this for now. And let's close this for now. So let's just keep this open. Okay, so we get inventory, and then we can add we can add this to it like that. Okay, and then if we go inside of our so this is the data icon. Okay, if we go to the business widget, the owner business widget, what is it? Is that it? Yeah, that's it right here. This is where we are creating the icons, right? Or the buttons to click to edit the product. So we can create a new variable here, and let's call it owner widget to get a reference to the widget. Let's say owner kiosk. It's already instance editable and expose on spawn. So now if we go here, we refresh this, we need a reference to ourselves, right? Like that. So the reason why I'm doing this, it's because each time I create a new, I add a new item to my inventory, I want to refresh this. Refresh database. Oh, wait a minute. No. I don't want to refresh it. I want to create a new, pretty much something similar to this, and it's going to be my inventory instead. So let's say get player inventory. Okay, so this will get all my inventory. So let's get the int, let's duplicate this and say I row, inventory row, I column, and I column size. Make sure it's still 5. We're pretty much doing the same thing we did up here. So set the row. I know we could have used what you call that, a route box, I think it's called, but sometimes it gives me a problem. That's the reason why I haven't used it before, or I'm not using it. So let's go to the inventory. The same thing we did for the, let's go to the inventory. Let's add a scroll box. We can delete this. Let's add a scroll box to the inventory, and let's add a uniform grid panel. All right, and then we're gonna call this one inventory grid, and let's add it to grids. So here we're gonna get this, and we say clear children, like that. And then we don't need the, yeah, we do need the business. Let's get the business. Okay, and we need to get inventory, and for each loop we're going to create a widget. So let's grab this. We could have created the same widget, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep mine separated. So let's say owner inventory icon, that's the one we want to create. Let's add this, and we might want to go add that widget reference. So let's duplicate this and say owner kiosk widget, owner kiosk widget. So here, let's refresh it, and we need to pass the info, the index, and let's do self, like that. And then we can get the inventory grid, and we can do add child to uniform grid. Is it how I'm doing this? Let's go here, let's see. Okay, we need to promote this to a variable, and let's call this one business buttons. and delete that. Selected, turn it into an array, and make sure it's replicated. And then I just add it to that button list, like so. And then make sure you connect this here. And then this is where we need the inventory row. Pretty much the same thing we did up there. We're just gonna do it down here, like that. Column. And then we can just copy this. Wait a minute. Not this. We need to copy, not this. Copy this part. And then just change them. So this is the column. We need the I column, column size, column, and then we need the row, and like that. And then here we can just go get player inventory on event construct. Okay, so this is building the player's inventory. So now each time we add an item, we can check to see if this is valid. This is why we make sure it's instance editable and exposes one. And then we can say get player inventory. So it's kind of like refresh the inventory again. So let's see if this is going to work. So if I go like over here, and wait, what? I need to we do this. Let's do health engines. Yeah, you see they're here, so we just need to fix the size. This is BBC. Let's see, where's the, why am I creating the model? Because I'm not seeing my no, that's not even it. So that's from where we, yeah, right here. Search my cursor to true, because I was having issues seeing it. Okay. So if we go back to our owner kiosk, like right here, in the scroll, let's make sure the scroll take the full screen, scroll box, and then this one, auto. So let's try it again. Okay, so if we get this and we try to buy a business, like so, data, boom, boom. Now it's in our inventory, right? So this is the part where we need to click this. You see, it's returning the index. So this is 0 and this is 1. So this is where we're gonna show the index. And also we need to add the search bar here as well. We need to add 1. So from the here, I think it's owner inventory icon. The one that's doing the edit product. When we click this, instead of printing this, we're going to get the character, check to see if it's valid, and we need to get BPC business, I think, yeah, like that. And then we also need to call server create edit modal, and it's gonna ask for the index. So this is the index, and the item info. We need the item info. To make sure it's working, let's print a string to get to see the name to make sure we are getting the right information. Okay, so do that again. And I think this way might be easier than how I did it in my working project. Matter of fact, I might even continue from this if it worked the way I want to. So let's get that. Let's go to inventory, edit product. Yeah. I need to deal with the closing tag and closing button. This right here we need to do. Remove from parent. And then say hide mouse. Like that. One more time. Let's try it one more time. Okay. Buy the business. Go over this way. Get this. Get health. Come on. And then this should say Gene. Yep. Okay, so instead of doing that, we need to properly hide the modal. So here, excuse me. So we need to do this. So let's do server. Oh, matter of fact, can we do this? I think we can simply do this. Instead of doing that, we can just grab this, and then we need to just call. Yeah, it's gonna ask for the. Yeah, but since we hiding it, we don't care about the index. Matter of fact, let's do it the proper way. Okay. So let's do server hide edit modal. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it the proper way. Save ourselves some headache. And let's do client. And client. And the only thing we have to do is do this. Hide mouse. Yep, okay. So in the edit product, we can call server hide edit modal. Wait, we don't need to do the hide mouse because we still need the mouse. We just need this. We still need the mouse to be present. Okay. Let's go like this. Let's boom boom. Add health. Genes. Okay, so now let's make sure the data is passing through to the edit modal correctly. So to see that, let's get the item name and let's do this for now. We may not want it to run on tick. So let's just pass the name and let's see. Because we want to make sure we are getting the correct item. I'm 100% sure. Well, let me not say 100, let's say 90. Give ourselves 10% margin of error. Let's see. Okay. Health, okay. Aha, I know it. So even though we are getting the, you see, it's saying the right thing, but it's not updating here. So that was the issue I was having in excuse me, in my other product thing, it's not, even though we pass in the data, right, when we do the edit button, like right here, it's getting the right data, but for some reason when it gets to the modal, it's not putting out the right data, and I have no clue why. Let me think. Excuse me. Let me think. Okay, so we're gonna do yeah, when we clicked on the database icon, or is it, yeah, or is it this? Yeah, when we click edit, we pass the right data through this. Let me try this. The right data is being passed. I don't know why is it not. Let's say set index. Instead of passing it, let's do this. And then let's say set item info. And let's pass the item info here. Because sometimes these work, these work instead of the other one. Other way around. These work. And we can unblock these for now. Matter of fact, let's just go here and make sure we do that, to make sure we're getting the right data, right? So if we go this way, let's buy the business again. And as you can see, if I hit that, I get health, but if I do this, I get jeans. So that means it's passing the correct item. So it's the data inside of the edit modal that is not correct. So I might have to get a reference of this inside of the edit. This is the owner inventory icon. So where we are creating the modal, we might need to pass in the owner edit modal. We might need to pass, it's called owner inventory icon, but that won't work. Owner inventory icon. If we go where we're creating it, like right here, we can do yeah, let's make sure it's instance editable and expose on spawn, and then here let's refresh this, pass it here, pass it here, okay, and then here, since we are doing this, we can just do self. So now in the modal, when this come up, let's get index and let's print string and C, and let's make this one kind of this color to differentiate between the other one, because it's getting the right index. It's just when it gets to the modal, it's returning a different index or item or something. So if I purchase these two, so this is index 0, which is index 0. So that means it's calling it from the modal, and this is index 1. But you see, it's still returning index 0. Why? It should get this, because as you can see, the name is passing through, but property, this is not, it says, okay, so from the, okay, let's close the business right now. Here, let's do this as well. Let's do, this is creating the edit modal. We have the owner inventory icon. Let's set it. Let's do set owner inventory icon. And let's pass it here. Let's see if that was the issue. I doubt it, but let's check. Because technically the owner inventory icon should be visible. It should be valid because it's still open, right? I don't know why it's returning not valid, but it should be valid. Because it is still open in the back end. Or like when we open the owner's kiosk thing, right? So we got Gene, and then why is this not valid? That's what I want to know. Okay, why is this not valid? It should be valid. Should be valid. Or is it because it's creating it too fast? Okay, let's go see. So if I get health, I should say, change. It's still not valid. Still not valid. But this is returning the right index. So why is this index not being returned properly? That's what I want to know. Because when it's passing it through here, right? Let me try something. Let's see. And I'm not sure it's gonna work, but create widget, and we're creating the owner edit product, and then we're gonna say set index to this index, and then we can say set item info to this item info, right? And then we're gonna do add to viewport, and then we adding this to the viewport, and then we're gonna do show mouse. We want this widget. let's see if this is gonna work, because this is working client, but the issue is, let's see, and I'm gonna tell you what's the problem going to be, but it shouldn't be a problem, because I would hope if you're making a GTA game, excuse me, you are planning on creating your dedicated server, not a listen server. So let's do this. Health, give me 0. Okay, for now, let's go here and just do remove from bad. All right, let's do that. Press this. Database 0 1. Okay, so it's okay. Now we're getting the right data, right? We're getting the correct data. Okay. What did I do? Okay, let's do this. Keep this. Now that we're getting the correct data, but this is the problem that we're about to face. So when we do this for the server, because widget doesn't exist on server, the server will not be able to see the modal. Oh, it is. Interesting. Wow. Okay. Well, no need to do this. Create edit modal. So we can just delete this whole thing. Like that. Just delete this whole thing. Okay. And then inside, we can delete this whole thing. We just simply do this. On the edit button, we just create the modal, and then we just show it. Okay, so inside of the modal, right? So let's get the item ID, or it should be the name, but we set it to ID. So let's say set text. We get the item info. This should be a better way. This might be a better way to do it than the one I have in my other project. This is why I said every time I'll create something, I try to do it differently, that way to see which way is better. And this way is less painful than the way I was trying to do in the stream yesterday. So health, here we go. If this says jeans, we're in business. Let's go. So now that we getting the right data inside of the modal, we should be able to interact with the stuff. All right. So if we're in the modal right now, right? So if I select the new price on text committed, for example, if I do text is empty, to make sure that people cannot just submit something when there's nothing in here. If it's not empty, then we can do what we need to do. Let's promote this to a variable, call it new price text. Okay. And then let's toString. And then is numeric to make sure it's a number. And then from here we can say to int, teach string to int, and then this will be, promote this to a variable, this is going to be new price. So now what we can do Well, since we are, let's see if it's going to do what I want it to do. Let's hide this. If I go to, what did we call this? We call this no price, and this is where we need the owner inventory. Owner, set owner inventory icon. This is where we need that, because here, that's what we need access to this. So if we set it to self, inside of the edit modal, we can grab this. Excuse me. We can check to see if it's valid. If it is, we can say get price, get no price, and then we can set text, and I don't have the no price, but I need to add that. But for now, let's do the buy. Okay, let's check. So if I go like this, buy the business. Let's say if I do 200, this is 200, this is 300, right? And let's edit this to make it 5,000. And it didn't do anything because, let me see. What we can do, we can simply do it. Let me grab this. Down here, we need to update it to be that. Right? Wait, no. Because right now it's just setting the text like that, but we need that, but we also need get item info, and then we need to do set members, and then we can do the buy price for now, and then this one gonna get this, and then we're gonna break it and buy price. Hopefully this one worked. Okay, so let's get it like that. It was 200. Let's do. Yep, there we go. 500. Now if I go and update it to 6,000, here it is, 6,000. So yeah, like I said, this way is way better than how I was doing it in the live stream. This way is way easier. Okay, so what we can do, we can collapse this to a function to make our life easier. Now let me see something now, because I was having this issue the last time but I hope I'm not getting the issue. Having this issue now. Let's buy this. Like so. Print this. Buy this for 2. Print this to 5,000. And click anywhere. Okay, so it's working. All right, cool. So let's add this to a function. That way we can, you don't have to see this ugly thing like that. Let's just say, let's call this update product text, and we can change this whole name to new price, product name, And let's fix these to look better. And let's do this. Let's hide unconnected pin. Okay. Wait, I think all of this is happening on the server. It might be working fine on the server, and then on the client, we screwed. I think we might be screwed. Or I might be screwed, because I'm the one doing that. Okay, so let's make sure 200, 6,000. I know for sure we are. Oh, no, we're not. It's updating. Okay. 8,000. Okay, so we still there. So this is still working. So now that we check in to see if it's not empty, okay, and then we're making sure it is we're making sure it's a number, okay. And then what we can also do, if we click this button, we can also do the same thing. We can just copy this and add the new price. That way it's either way it's gonna do it. Okay, so if we update it, it will do that. And then now what we need to do, we need to work on showing the item for the client when the client come in trying to open the inventory, or the store inventory, pretty much like when they come here. See, now it's saying clothing UI. So what we need to do here, now we definitely need to go create it inside of this, not this, the BPC, yeah, right here. Or should I do it like that, or should I keep it in the, no, we need to create it over there. Yeah, we do. So we can say server create client, let's say customer kiosk, server, and client create customer kiosk. And let's make sure we have those. We just need to copy, let's copy this whole thing and then delete what we don't need. Duplicate customer kiosk and delete that. There's a lot of things we don't need. First of all, we don't need none of this. We don't need the header. And we just need this. And in this, you can change, instead of open, you need to buy. And then close. Yeah, keep it by and close. For now, because we're gonna need a button to clear the things too. So for now, we're just gonna keep it like that. So inside of here, we're gonna add the search functionality later, but for now, let's do this. Make sure it's fill. And then let's add a uniform grid panel. And let's make sure we call this customer grid. And set it over this way. And then we also need to create the same thing we did on the owner. Right here. If we want, we can just copy this whole thing where we create the get player inventory. Let's go to the customer kiosk, and we just need to rename some stuff. We can say get customer, or we can say create customer inventory. We need to get the row, column, and what did we call this? Customer grid. Replace that with this. And then we're not creating this, we're creating the customer kiosk this time. We need to pass the item index. No. Index. Wait. No. Oh yeah, we do need it. Index. Instance editable and expose on spawn. We are inside of customer kiosk. We don't need to create customer kiosk. I'm doing the thing the wrong way. Hold on, sorry. This is why you don't copy and paste. We need to copy this one. That's the one we need. We need this section first. Let's do it the right way, okay? And stop trying to take shortcut. Create customer inventory. What? Create inventory. Where am I? I'm inside of, yeah, create inventory. We need to pass index. No, not index. Row, column, and column size. And this needs to be 5, right? And then let's set this to 0. Set this to 0. We need to get this, clear it. We need to get this, the business, get business. Remember, it's coming from the global function that create, and then we need the inventory. Get inventory. We're gonna do another check here for now, but for now I'm just gonna have it here, but we're gonna do another check. So we do for each loop. We need to create. We need to, let me grab it from here. Just grab all of this. What we're doing, we're creating a widget. The widget we are creating is the customer kiosk. Customer. Wait, it can't be customer kiosk. We have to get the buttons. Yeah, this. Let's duplicate this and call this one customer button. All right, that's the one we need. So inside of this, where is it? Inside of the customer, we need to pass this, the customer button. Okay, so what we are doing is we need the grid. Hit the grid, the inventory grid, and also, okay, let me explain to you. So we get the row column, we clear the uniform grid panel for the customer inventory. Okay, we get the business, the current business that we are interacting with. We get the inventory. Remember, when we purchase an item, we add it to our inventory, so we get that. And then let's plug the item info index. We create the customer button so that way they can purchase thing or add it to their cart. And then we add child to uniform grid panel, and then we increment the stuff that we need to increment. Okay, so make sure this one has a input value. So before we do that, we need to call create inventory. Like that. Let's hit play and let's see. So let me purchase one of these. And then, I'm getting ahead of myself. When did I even do that? Nope, I didn't even do it. Let's do create widget. I'm getting ahead of myself. We create the customer kiosk. Promote this to a variable. Customer kiosk. And we need to make sure it's replicated. And then if it's valid, we're just going to add it to the viewport. Right now we are inside a BPC business, okay? And then we do that. And then we show mouse. Widget we are showing is this, true. Let's create a function. Is customer menu open. Set it to true. And then we're checking it here. If it's not, we do remove from parent. And then we can do hide mouse like that. And then we set this to false. We call it here. Client create customer kiosk. And then we need to go here inside of the business. That's where we need to go. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Where were we? So now, yes, if we go to where we're doing the inside of the business, the BP business, where we are showing, we were just doing close store UI. What we need to do, we need to get this. Instead, we need to say server create customer kiosk like so. So now if I do this, if I'm not seeing it. Why? Yes, add to viewport. Open. Client create customer kiosk. Client create customer kiosk. Is there anything inside of there? Yeah, it's stuff in here. So why am I not seeing it? BP business. If it's a close-in, get that. Server create client. Server on the client. Oh, here. I didn't plug it up. Okay, let's go and see. This time, if it's going to work. Okay. Okay, so now there's nothing here. So if I go like that and then purchase, I should be able to see something. Okay, here we go. So now let's go see if I update the price in my inventory to 8,000. Close. Now let's see if it's gonna show over here. No, it doesn't show because this is getting a fresh one. So what we need to do, when we update the price, we need to refresh this one right here. Well, whenever we update the price, we also need to refresh that inventory. So here we need access to, and here comes the other problem I was having, because the inventory is not open, the client inventory is not open at the moment. We won't be able to update it right there. So I have it figured out in my other project. So in the next video, this is where we are going to showcase how to get it to reflect in the front where the client is. Okay, so right now we have it like this. And there are a few things too that I need to also do. So if I do this, right now there's nothing. Okay, but if I purchase the thing, I don't want them to automatically show up here. I only want them to show after, right, when I hit publish. So we need to add a boolean inside of the item info, so that way we know if this is published, then we will push it to the new stuff, right? So I'm going to stop this video here. In the next one, we're going to work on making them public, and then make sure that the front end is being, or the customer part is being, it's adjusting the proper way, I should say. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.